Welcome to Grandshelt Nights podcast. This is podcast number 26, and we'll be discussing. We'll be discussing Akstar and his twin Zeno. Dun dun dun.
Plus one arm.
Plus one arm. Yeah. Where did Akstar get the extra arm to dual wield? Anyways, I am here with Kuja. The other two could not make it this week, and we'll be discussing the new banner and the new event or the new trial event from last week, or not from last week. That's expanded from last week. So we'll have Akstar and company. So we'll start with the units, starting with Majora. I mean Majora's Mask. I'm assuming.
I don't know. This unit's terrible. But her TM is a accessory that has 3 defense, 3 spirit, 20% HP, 20% MP, and gives you auto refresh of 5% per turn.
It's fine for support character.
It's fine. It's all right.
Makes
it's not like anything amazing, but I mean,
yeah, but it would make a support character. Yeah, the unit is terrible. Debuffer magic attacker. Why? Anything like that?
This unit's terrible.
Like her strongest I mean, I guess 55% is not bad technically, but it's
good.
one turn.
Not good.
No, it's not. I was thinking of Timmy, in which Timmy was the better of the 4. That's why I was like, remember how Timmy's still considered one of the better 3-star buffers? Yeah, she's a worse version of her. I mean, she's a worse version of him. Sorry, which is sad. That's not very good. Anyways, let's go to the cowboy because the incense burner is pretty much only good on support units.
Yep.
So now we're going to Tome. Or Tomoe.
I would say Tomo.
I think Tomo? With the E at the end, you do emphasize the E.
I don't know. Anyway, her TMR is Lagoa. It's a gun, 2-handed, 130 attack, and it's got the 130 to 170% variance.
I'm sorry, but Machine Gun Plus has been out for too long for this to be really that useful.
I mean, yeah, it's nothing like super amazing. It's just a slightly upgraded version of Machine Gun Plus.
This should have been 35 just to make it more appealing, because with Machine Gun Plus being out for as long as it has, and it's 125 with the basically same as everything else, it's kind of like, okay, I've been playing the game for longer than 2 months. I probably have Machine Gun Plus.
Yep.
Her is the unit. She's an attacker. She does have some breaks, but they're pretty pitiful. Yeah, very pitiful. I would not consider this unit being useful at all.
Nope.
Even for an attacker, she has no redeeming features other than the fact that she's a true double hand 4-star unit. But, does that really help a lot? Not really. She doesn't even have any base true double hand in her kit. It's just the fact that her gun exists.
Yep.
So would I even bother with her? Well, I'm gonna make her 6-star because I'm terrible like that, but no, she's not worth it. I like to think of the good sides of certain units, and this one is not one. So on to the better 4-star in a sense, Gravy, with the stupid TMR that if you use katana users, you should be going for this character.
I think this is just a good one to get, even if it's a lot. Even if you're not using a katana character
it's almost an STMR level.
I would get this character. I would get this. It's 70% attack with a katana and close. We're getting into the true dual wield meta where you're gonna have 2 weapons. So it's not the true double hand meta where it's all great swords and you wouldn't be like, oh, katana, no one cares about katanas. But again, we're going into the dual wield meta, which is emphasized
I don't know
later on this banner.
I don't know if the dual wield's going to take over true double hand, but they are more comparable now, so it is
useful.
Yeah,
but again, it gives you more flexibility with dual wield. I mean, it's easier. It's so much easier to gear a dual wield character than it is a true double hand
Yeah,
character.
especially with elements. But anyways, other than that, have you seen anything good for this unit at all?
He is bad. He's bad. For the 4-star unit, he's not very good. He bad. I mean, he's got instant KO.
Which you can't use in arena, so who cares?
Right, so he's terrible. Yeah, I mean he's terrible. He's really bad.
I think it's weird that he hurts someone other than him. I don't know if it's random or you select them to do either
I don't know.
damage or to boost himself, which is odd.
Yeah.
He has dual wield, so that's one benefit, so he's easy to gear, but I mean, you're hurting yourself to do damage with his better attack, but it's still one hit attack, so he's a finisher without really a good finishing ability. I mean, I guess 6.4 is not bad for a 4-star modifier, but you're also doing 2,000 damage to an ally. And if you're using a character like this, you probably don't have a whole lot of HP.
Yeah.
He does break defense with his LB, but it's not worth leveling up because it doesn't really jump that high, and 45% is just meh. You can find better with Tem or even Majora, which since it's one turn really sucks, but it's still better than this.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
other than his TMR, I mean, his TMR is fantastic. It's gonna be non-stackable. So I mean, it doesn't say it here, but it's if it was stackable, that'd be stupid. But anyways, non-stackable, most likely. I'm about
Mhm.
99% sure it's unstackable. So even if you got more than one of him, I would still look into getting to two if you got more than one of them, just because the fact that it's such a high percentage, which is like STMR level. Like look how many TMR levels are about 50, maybe 60%, and this one's 70%. It's like
Yep.
it's dumb. But if you're going to be using katanas, then yeah, get more than one. Better, the more the better, right?
The more the better.
The more the better. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's do Akstar first. Akstar.
Yeah, because he's worse.
I think they're very comparable, but Xenos is so easy to build and so versatile that I the only
That's why he
benefit
blows him away,
the only benefit to
in my
Akstar is
opinion.
the fact that he has ice and fire imbues. But I mean, if you need ice, you can just put an ice weapon on Xenos. But
Yeah, I mean
anyways,
that's the whole point with.
well,
I mean,
also his TMR is really good. It has a very nice benefit compared to the other characters with a accessory with True Double Hand. This one gives LB fill rate percentage rather than crystals. Like,
yeah, yep, yep, agreed. I would say it's definitely better than.
and it's definitely better than Clouds, Kingdom Heart Clouds, because I don't like.
Well, Clouds is not that good. It's just what extra defense and spirit.
Yeah, extra defense and spirit and True Double Hand. It's like, why? You're a LB finisher. Come on, give me LB crystals. The next big benefit from Akstar is the fact that Ashen Ember is actually good
Good.
because it's the only True Double Hand katana in the game, and it's probably gonna be the only for a while. So
Yep.
if you're using, I mean, there's two units that would benefit from this katana. It's him and Sephiroth.
Yeah.
And Sephiroth doesn't benefit
Well,
currently.
and Sephiroth loses a lot from not using his TM. Also,
It
until we
until
get
his
the
enhancements.
STMR. Well,
Even with his enhancements, it's worth dropping. The only thing you lose really is the Octaslash,
I mean,
unless they change it compared to JP, which they could.
yeah.
But
I mean, we don't know.
I think Sephiroth could compare to Akstar with True Double Hand with his enhancements, but that requires you to have Akstar's STMR. The reason why Akstar's
Well,
STMR is so good though is because it's a huge boost to his damage.
yep.
Huge. So that's one of the reasons why I think Akstar is worse than Xenos, is because Akstar loses a lot by not having his STMR, while Xenos doesn't really need it. And
Well, that's very debatable.
Xenos doesn't need it. He has 200% true double. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, the families that Akstar has are very nice. He has Divine Ruination, which that's nice because that's the one he has two of them that add imbues, so can add ice or fire to his attacks. He has Absolute Mirror of Equity, which of course is his bread and butter,
Yep.
and he has AR chaining. Um,
Yeah, he's versatile. He's very versatile in the chaining family ways,
he has three.
but he's not because he's got a very specific.
The only time you would really use Divine Ruination is if you were not planning on using him for himself,
Right. That'd
or
be
you're
if you were
or
chaining
you're
with somebody
imbuing.
that had, yeah. See, the thing is with Akstar, and what makes like a unit that's
Like
very
him.
simple to use. I'm just saying I'm comparing him to someone like Esther. Yes, Esther does more damage anyway. Besides the point, Esther is also way easier to use because you have to do a certain rotation with Akstar
Yep.
to maximize his damage because he adds like incremental modifiers to his attacks, which is fine. You just have to do them. You have to remember what moves you're doing.
You have to
I
kind of
mean,
do them in a specific order. Like, for example,
right.
you're going to start with Perfect Void. If you're going to go any distance at all, you're going to start with Perfect Void because that gives you triple
Mm-hmm.
cast. That gives you an increase of attack by 250% for 5
Yep.
turns.
And
And
increases modifiers for.
the modifier is a pretty decent increase. It's not the best, but it is the best for the for turn 1 because his
Right.
best is at turn 4. If I
Yes.
remember correctly, his modifiers, if you don't use the same ability, will stack on top of each other.
Yeah, they do, but that's kind of why
He has
you
a
have to
rotation.
remember what move. Yeah, I mean you have to remember what moves you used. So like you can go and use
Perfect
Mirror of
Void.
Equity Disorder and Perfect Void, but you have to remember that you used Perfect Void last turn, or you're kind of screwing his
Well,
rotation up.
perfect void is easy to remember because you can't reuse it, but
Sure,
you're
but
gonna want to go
your
through
other abilities, yeah,
mirror of equity disorder. You're gonna want to go through mirror of equity,
Acuity,
acuity, and then what's the last one he has?
the True Mirror of Equity.
Well, that's at turn
Yeah.
4, so you'd have to find another turn to do that. But why is this one called mirror of equity emptiness and it's a divine ruination chain? That doesn't sound right.
That's dumb, but whatever.
Are we sure this is a divine ruination chain?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I would assume it is. I mean,
I'm not trying to say that they're wrong, but it seems weird that it's called Mirror of Equity and it's a Divine Ruination chainer. I thought the only Divine Ruinations were these two, but I could be wrong. I'm going off of
yeah,
memory,
I don't know. I
and I
mean,
can't read and I can't read Japanese worth a dang, so I could also be wrong with that
I
too.
mean, he does have Finger Snap, which is actually really good.
Yeah, because
It's very useful.
dispelling is very nice to have.
Um, I mean, he is a straight up katana user,
Yeah, if
and
you would lose a lot of damage by removing a katana off this thing. It's better to use a
mhm.
one-handed katana than a two-handed broadsword.
Yeah, and another thing that hurts him a lot is since he's a true double hand user, he almost needs his STMR because he's going to lose a lot of damage by not using.
I think the calculation I've heard is it's a little over 30% of his damage will be lost if you don't use his STMR,
Yeah.
which is a huge amount.
Yep. Which
Um,
makes a lot of the other units so much better because, like, if I mean, when you're comparing him to probably the unit that everybody's going to compare him to, other than Zeno,
is
is
Esther.
Esther. And Esther, again, is so much easier to build. She's easier to use. and there's plenty of great swords with two-handed great swords that we have available to us. So I mean, yeah, Akstar is good. Not saying he's bad. It's just a lot of the luster that he had in JP is gone because there's units that are better.
I mean, the only
We've
benefit to him right now is the fact that he is a chain finisher when he attacks, unlike Esther, who does not chain finish. So,
Yep.
if
He still does less damage though, which is kind of crazy.
well, it's because his modifiers are less.
Yeah, but I
But
mean,
but anyways, when I say 30% less damage, I'm not talking about losing like this. Like you don't lose a 30% like a buff. 30% damage is like missing a 30% killer on an enemy.
that's
So
more than that.
your damage. No, I'm saying if you had a
It's
30% killer on an enemy, that's 30% off the top of your damage, rather than 30% on a like this. It's not like a buff. It's a at the total damage cap that you're doing, you're losing
yeah.
30%.
I mean, it's what they're basically what it's saying is 100% is what his damage would be if he's using his STMR,
And
and then
70% with
so
damage.
he's only doing if you're using, I don't know what would be the highest attack katana that we have. I guess it would be
Greg or
yeah,
Seaton
Greg
or
or like
Xenos.
Titan's STMR or
Yeah.
somebody's STMR. So you're looking at maybe not losing attack value, but the variance is the kind of the deal breaker here, and that's where the damage comes because that's also a straight up extra damage percent.
So another thing that Akstar is he's definitely a LB damager as well. Just
Mm-hmm.
like Esther, he gets a crap ton of damage on his LB. It is much cheaper than Esther, but he does not have any abilities that really gives him a lot like Esther does. Like Esther,
Does
if
he
you
have?
dual, I think he has one ability. I gotta remember.
He doesn't have any extra LB damage though.
Oh no, he doesn't have extra LB damage. I'm talking about LB fill rate.
Yeah, I mean he has the extra LB fill rate, but I mean
But
Esther has
what I'm saying
Esther.
is his modifiers are slightly higher than Esther, but Esther does a lot more with her LB to make up for it like easily.
Well, and
And
she also has extra LB damage in her kit. Plus, she's got her TMR that gives extra LB damage,
yep.
so it's probably higher anyway.
And then the other problem with this is, well, I mean, it does give triple A arts, which hers doesn't. But
Oh yeah, but hers also gives her an extra, LB
what I was gonna say is
damage.
the reason why, in my opinion, hers is better in general is because this is an uncommon chaining family. This is not.
Yeah,
This is chaining
it
with
doesn't chain with
himself
anybody. Yeah.
and Xenos. We'll get to that later. Um,
Oh, it does chain with Xenos'
yeah,
LB.
they're the same. I'm assuming they are because they have the same hit count, but they don't have the. Why don't they have this here? I don't have either of the. I don't have both the units, so I can't test it. But I'm pretty sure that they're the same.
I don't know.
Because that'd
I
be
mean,
dumb if they didn't do that.
they don't have the frame delay thing for
Yeah,
the
they don't have
enemy,
the
so
they don't have the freedom delays. But anyways,
they do for the other stuff.
Esther
But
has a common family. Even Akstar has it. So if you're using Akstar with her, which why would you? Because he doesn't have bolting strike. Um, he has an AR chaining family, which means he can actually help her finish with her
I mean,
LB.
you could use Esther if you really liked Akstar. You could use an Esther.
Because she also has absolute mirror equity. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
it's just not a high modifier for her.
It's fine.
But
It's actually pretty decent. It's just you need to do a different ability first. All right. Anyways, let's go on to, in my opinion, the best unit on the banner for most people,
oh yeah, easily
Zeno.
the best.
Um, in my opinion, the reason why Zenos is very good is A, his TMR is fantastic.
It is. It's very good.
This is freaking fantastic. This is like this, in my opinion, beats out Prish. The only problem is it's a helmet for most people because most people only can use hats.
Yeah.
But it not only has 42 attack, it has LB fill rate of 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Not really that worried about the 20% MP, but LB fill rate.
Hey,
Hey,
extra MP is always good.
extra MP is always good. Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I mean it's a very solid TMR. Um,
I think it's one of
and
the higher tiered TMRs in the game.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it's very good. I don't know if it's like some of the top tier TMRs.
Look at the helmets and the hats that we have available as a TMR. That matches it, if not beat it. Because, I mean, Prish is what, 45
Five. Yeah.
with 10% HP and 10% MP? In my opinion, I'd rather have the LB fill rate than the 3 attack. But it is a hat, which is easier to usually put on characters.
Hmm.
Or there's Kane's helmet, which has elemental
Yeah. I mean,
resistance.
I think I'm kind of more looking at this and being like, it's a helmet, so it's like it's okay because a lot of the good attackers can't wear helmets.
Yeah.
It's really good for him, but again, it's a helmet,
I,
which
w-
hurts it a little bit.
I would love this on my Demon Rain, but
Yeah.
I
I
always
mean,
end up looking that way, so that's kind of terrible.
I just think that it's since it's a helmet, it can't be top tier.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that I mean. It's very good. I mean, and his STMR is
Searing
fine.
Ember, which is it's it's
No, it's
stupid
fine.
strong. It's stupid strong in my
Yeah,
opinion, mainly because 40% attack on a katana. That means if you take it through item world, you can get that thing up to almost 80%, which is gonna make him
yeah,
even easier to cap.
yeah. My only thing about that is I think he's gonna cap easily anyway,
I will agree with that.
and you're not gonna need it. I mean, you can probably come pretty close with capping him and having like two or three extra
I'm not saying you
materials.
can't do that, but I'm
So
saying,
I
in
mean,
my opinion, it
I'm just saying.
what this allows me to do. This allows me to build LB damage. It allows me to make him basically immune without dropping his damage. It allows me to build elemental resistances without dropping damage. That's how I see this as TMR. Not as necessary to get damage. It's necessary to build more defensive and keep damage.
Sure, I would just never. This is not a
Oh, I would
chaseable
I would not chase it. No.
TMR by any
No.
way, any means. It's nowhere near chaseable. Like I would say, Akstar's is more chaseable because it's something if you get Akstar, you almost need his STMR. But um, it's again, it's really just a high attack weapon.
Yeah, gotta love high attack weapons, but yeah, I agree with you. It's not
Yeah.
chaseable, but if you have it, actually, you know what? I'd be more tempted to have 2 of him rather than his STMR, though. Truthfully,
I wouldn't be only because a lot of the time you're going to be using a friend. You don't need two. That's how
okay.
I look at the all damage dealers. And unless they're like STMR is total garbage, which is not usually the case. There's really very few units I would rather have two of than their STMR. You can count them on one hand and still have probably three fingers left.
I could see a bunch of them where I feel like the unit is better than their STMR. Like for example, Lilith. Right off the top of my head,
Yeah.
that's the first one that pops into my head
Oh
every
yeah,
time.
yeah. Lilith and the other one's Transterra.
And if you're another person, if you like this unit, you like him. If you don't, you don't. But Lila, because there's so few people that use her, it's better to have 2 of her than an STMR. Well, until
Yeah.
her STMR becomes her TMR substitute, which would be fantastic for her because she's kind of terrible with her TMR. But
You're talking
that's
about
beside the point.
Transterra.
Lila, actually, Transtera, I don't like either of her STMR or her
Yeah.
TMR.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I've kind of gravitated away from Transterra anyway. I don't think she's not good because of the fact that there's just problems with her. But
She's fine.
that's besides the point.
I like her in arena. That's pretty much it.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Because everything's over in one turn.
Anyways, if you don't notice something, there's something very unique about this character. I mean, completely not unique whatsoever. He's
He
very
grew his arm
similar
back.
to freaking Akstar.
He also grew his arm back.
Oh, well, I've heard some people like, it's a robotic arm. Oh, maybe it's a monster arm. Oh, wait.
I have no idea.
I
All
should
I
have
know
probably
is
said spoilers.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. It depends.
he's been out. It's not like we
Well,
don't know who Zeno is yet.
oh no, 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 no.
Haven't.
I'm saying spoilers as in like if you knew what it was, you might be like spoilers, but if you didn't, you probably wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'll talk. I'll tell you later. Saying too much more would be actual spoilers. Anyways, um, the only abilities that I really noticed that are much different is like dual slash. I don't remember seeing that on Akstar.
Yeah, I
Which
mean, dual slash is nice because it's AOE attack that you can makes it easy to clear
it's also really
story
useful
events and other crap like that.
in arena if you're not dealing with evasion.
Yeah.
Because hitting a character, because this is a dual wield character, it
Mhm.
turns into 4 turns of just smacking the characters probably for 9999 or 3 nines.
Mhm.
999.
Yeah. I mean, and he's not just a mirror of equity chainer. Also,
Yeah, he has a couple features that I really like. He got AR chaining as well
he's got bolting strike with a good
with a good
modifier.
modifier. It's not the most amazing modifier, but it's an 8 times
Yeah,
modifier.
it's not his best move, but it's definitely still usable for sure.
And aerial is 6 times, which it's not that good.
It's well, yeah, it stacks up to 6, which is nice.
It,
But
it's
again,
it's
I think
okay.
I think you're using this more if you're using him and Esther, and you're using this to chain with her
With Ellie,
with her
yeah, yeah. No, I
But
understand.
I mean, this makes both Zeno and Esther pair pretty well together because, again, you know, Esther's LB is Areola Ray, so that he can chain with that. I mean, he's got Bolting Strike, and Esther's got Absolute Mirror of Equity. I mean, the only thing that they both don't chain with is Divine Ruination.
I think it's funny though. They give him dual blade arts, which gives him finger snap, dual slash, and ES strike. Which you know what? That's actually pretty nice because that gives you the ability to dispel and do damage at least somewhat.
Yeah,
But anyways, he also has a rotation. It's kind of similar to Akstar.
yeah,
You're
yep,
probably going to use Perfect Void first. If you don't, I'm shame, shame, or you're just going to kill them in the first turn anyways.
yeah.
Because it's a 250% attack buff for 10 turns. So as
I know
long
it's
as you aren't
stupid.
so as long as you're not dispelled, because this part can be dispelled, this is a huge jump. Not to mention the fact that it also includes a 1 times modifier for 10 turns to basically all the Mirror of Equity chaining families, and
Yeah.
that stacks. So you can stack way too much on this character pretty easily.
Hmm.
The only problem is since he dual casts, or not dual casts, because he's dual wield, you can only do one at a time rather than stack quicker with Akstar you can. Because with Akstar you can
Can't
use
you?
2 different abilities.
Oh, he doesn't have. I thought he had dual cast.
He does, but it's only for Blade Arts. Blade Arts is the ability to use Finger Snap, Dual Slash, and ES Strike.
No, it's everything except that.
Oh, except, sorry, I misread that.
I was like, what are you talking about? He's got double cast, so he can do more than one thing at once.
Yeah, 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 I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And I believe he can unlock triple cast too, can he?
He can unlock triple cast. It's
Yeah.
with his True Mirror of Equity, which is at turn 4. I don't believe his LB does it. Oh, no, it does not.
No, no, it doesn't.
But yeah,
But his LB adds a 3x modifier to like all his good good moves.
so the big thing with the True Mirror of Equity is it's only 2 turns for triple cast, so pretty much the next turn you're gonna be able to triple cast. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, his strongest skills, I mean, it's probably Obliterating Mirror of Equity Roar. Um, but you need to stack your character up first before this one becomes really that great.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that a lot of his moves add modifiers to that ability. So again, and you can, I mean, using perfect void is stupid that it lasts 10 turns. So
Well, I think they had to do that
Why?
Because of the fact that he's a dual wield unit. It takes for him to keep the modifiers up and use and get
Yeah, but he can dual
obliterating.
cast. I mean, he
No,
can dual
I
cast. So
understand, but
that
I'm saying to do all those skills and get obliterating mirror of equity roar max, he would need 10 turns, even if you're dual casting. So in order to max his strongest skill and keep all the modifiers from all the previous ones, he would need 10 turns. Actually, seems like there's only one stacking. Oh no, there's two stacking. Yeah, I think it would require more than 5 turns to max obliterating, obliterating, and
yeah.
the other ones together. So I understand why it's 10.
Although what's really stupid is he's got the well, I mean, he as the first true dual wield unit, he's got the
Oh,
ability. They increase his equipment, like the true dual wield, by 100%, and give him 100%,
for
and then
using
his
his
TMR
TMR,
ability gives him another 100%. So he's already capped without wearing any equipment. It's crazy.
which is why I think he is probably the easiest character to build in the current meta.
Yep. He's probably going to be the easiest character to build for a long time, and he's going to be very competitive with other units.
Unless they decide to increase the true double hand cap again, which even if they did, he'd still be easy to build because he'd have only one jump to do rather than what everyone
Yeah,
else
it's only,
does.
I mean, he only needs 100, where everybody else will need another 100 plus whatever they are lacking in their own
They'd
kit.
probably need 200 because if I remember correctly, with enhancements, Reagan got to 100%.
Mm. I mean, regardless of however much they have, I mean, you need. I mean, no one, even in JP, has 200 in their kit,
Yeah,
and I
and he's the
sort
first
of
unit too.
understand why, because we don't have the equipment that kind of facilitates true dual wield.
Yeah, but
But
we've
200
got.
is still kind of really high,
I
and it would.
was expecting them
I'm
to
so.
drop it by half.
Yep, I was expecting them. I was expecting to maybe him have 100 at max. And when I first read it, I thought it was when everybody was saying increase equipment attack by 100%. I was like, oh, that probably just means they upped the max by 100%. But no, nope, he actually has 200%.
I I think it was.
So
Truthfully, I think it was dumb that they did this. Because now there's almost no reason to pull for units with true double hand materials or whatever
well, certain
accessories.
ones. I mean,
Like
because I
it
think
should have
is
been.
he?
We could have maxed it with our current units we have. We have Jensen. We have
Yeah,
stackable Aloha Laswell. So
and that's it.
you can get
Besides STMRs of
50% right
eliminating.
there. And I'm sorry, but they gave us true double hand characters without the ability to get the max cap on true double
They
hand
did.
before. Yeah, we could only get to 250 before. And then all of a sudden they gave us a bunch of units that helped cap it out. And Lightning's not that far away, so in my opinion they should have gone 100%. But that's my opinion. I just think he's extremely strong now. He kind of decimates a lot of characters, especially with new character or new players. If you were a new player, you should really go for this unit. Is how
Yeah.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
because you're
I
not
mean,
gonna have.
he does more damage than even Esther does.
The only problem that he has is since he doesn't have accuracy, he can be dodged. So he's not very good in arena. Woo
Right.
is how I
Who
feel about
cares?
that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the only thing you can say with like that helps Esther out is that she's a lot tankier than him, and
Yeah, but how easy is because he's not only is he 200%, but he's got a crap ton of attack already built in. Um,
yeah, he does, and he's got a permanent 200% buff.
and he can wear clothes, so he can get Gravy's freaking TMR in there. So he's pretty much he's so strong right off that because you get two
Yeah,
weapons
I know.
run
Oh
through
yeah,
item
he's
world,
stupid strong.
which if you I'll be modest, I'll say 40% from two weapons. So that gives you 90% at this at level. So 110, 140, 170, 200, 200% with, and that's only counting two
That's a
weapons run
lot.
through item world and his passives. So to get 100%, oh wait, no, it goes to 400%, right?
Hmm.
So to get 400%, you have to get 200%. So Gravy's TMR is 70% right there. So that's
Yeah, I mean
270%.
he's easy to get to 400%. He's easy, but all these true dual wield units are going to be easy because you can equip them with two weapons that went through item world. But
I'm just trying to state that
the
you can
only
build them
thing
more
that makes
defensively.
him kind of difficult to use is because he's got the same clunky rotation that Akstar has.
I don't really feel like it's that clunky. I just feel you just have to remember. You kind of have to set your mind to say, I'm going to do it this, this, and this, and then just kind
Hmm.
of keep that pattern going. The only issue you'll really ever have is if you need to take pauses during gameplay. Like for example, if you're doing, oh, what's the guy that falls asleep? I can't think of his name. Entanger.
Well,
If you're
you
doing
can
a
probably
boss,
sneeze on Anger and kill him,
I,
but
I understand, but I'm saying a boss like Entanger where you have to take pauses so they don't murder your team.
yeah, I mean,
So yeah, if you see right here, this is also a 14 hit. I'm positive this is going to chain with Akstar.
I don't know. I haven't really looked.
But
I don't know if it will or not.
the one thing that I'll probably think it is, I probably think it'll be similar to how Awaken Rain and Hio chain, where they're going to chain together, but there's a pause between it, if you know what I mean. Like you have to use Awaken Rains before you use Hio's, because there's a longer time for Awaken Rain to jump up in the air, do his Kamehameha shit, and then blast
Yeah.
his LB. Well, Hio has a very long animation, but it's all done in the CG form. So if you just tap the screen, you're already past that point.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, he's extremely good.
He is a beginner's dream.
Yeah, someone in the chat saying like they don't chain, and that doesn't surprise me actually because it's gonna screw up because of Akstar's um, CG animation.
Like I said, I think it's going to be similar to Awakened Rain and Hio, where you have to time it properly. But if they don't, they don't.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know about
I
Dragon Helm, but I'm sorry, Dragon Helm doesn't have LB fill, right?
mean Dragoon Helm,
Yeah, Dragoon Helm, sorry.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, Zeno is definitely the unit to get here, and I mean, he's pretty easily the top damage dealer in global. I think. Interesting thing is now that Gumi's kind of messed the power curve up a little bit. What are they going to do for future units?
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with future True Double Hand units, or True Dual Wield, I mean.
I mean, because mainly at this point, I mean, Zeno could just be the beginning one, and they were like, well, we don't have any equipment, so we'll give him 200%. And I think that's kind of what they felt, and they did. Which, I mean, I think they should have just given him 100 and then said, well, you can't get to 200. It's going to kind of gimp his damage slightly
In the beginning.
in the beginning.
Well, either that or they should have ridiculously dropped his
Because
passive's attack.
his damage is still really good. I mean, it beats Aster, and Aster's damage kind of shat on Akstar, and his damage is what I think they were saying it's like 35 or 40% better than Esther, which is about what Esther is better than Akstar. So
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Like I said, I think
yeah,
they either should have made it half true dual wield because you'll be able to get the stuff later, or they should have ridiculously nerfed his passives.
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't learn from Esther, and they made him broken too. So I think we should probably expect a couple crappy global exclusives where they're like, we made these guys too good, and we're gonna make
I don't know.
units
They
way
haven't
better.
really done that with global exclusives. They're probably just gonna like hold off on global exclusives for a bit. They usually only make crappy global exclusives when they're trying something new and then they fail.
Or they get scared. They get scared about making unit too good.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they.
Anyways,
That's what they do.
so we have these new step ups available. Um, as you can see, there's two of them, and
Yeah.
one includes a guaranteed Akstar with no bonus rate ups for Xenos, and the other one includes both of them with bonus rates to both of them.
hmm
If you're going to do step up, in my opinion,
You do the one with Zeno on it.
yes. Unless you
I would. I
absolutely
would.
love,
Unless you. Yeah.
unless you,
Unless you're in love with Akstar, skip that first one because that first one is bad.
it's not bad. It's just that unless you've not pulled for Esther, if you've pulled for Esther, it's
It's
worse than
bad.
what you have, and it's only for Akstar's bonus rate. You have a chance of getting Xenos because he is in the pool, but there's no bonus rates to him. He's considered an off banner.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess with my luck, I should pull on the. If I was going to pull, I'd pull on the Akstar banner and pull a Xenos. Off banner king. Gosh. Anyways, both banners are decent. Oh, because there's 24Ks, there's a 5-star guarantee that's off banner,
Yeah.
or could be on banner, but it's any 5 star. It's basically like an
I don't
EX
know.
ticket.
I just really I can't. I can't recommend that first step up with Akstar on it. I just can't. I don't think it's good. I just don't think Akstar is. I mean, with the units we have now and the units on the banner, I
So,
think it's a waste of your lapis to
so
pull for on
so
that banner
for
compared to the other
me,
one.
the biggest reason to not pull on the Akstar banner is if you look on the Akstar Xenos banner, look at those tickets you get. You have a 5-star guaranteed ticket that requires, was it 4 or 5?
It's four.
So
I
4.
think.
So you have,
I think it's four,
I, grab my,
unless they change it because it looks like there's less, right? Or
it's
no,
either
no,
it's
there's
either
no. You get
4.
three.
Well, you get 3 this time. It's either 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure it was 4.
No,
Um,
you need four. It's a stupid thing where you need to do a
one step
whole lap
afterwards, yeah.
plus. Yeah.
But anyways, this allows you another chance of a higher chance of pulling Akstar or Xenos.
Yep.
So
I mean,
if you look at Akstar's banner, that's not there. Just look at the
yeah,
first step. You get a 5-star Moogle instead of a 10-star Moogle, and the ticket. The second step, 3 max Cactars rather than a 4-star ticket and that ticket. It's like everything about the second step up, the one that, even the fact that you can do 4 times, is
screams
just
better.
better.
Yeah.
Um,
Plus,
again,
I mean, again, I just I can't recommend going for the Akstar banner. I mean, unless you're a whale and you're just like, I'm gonna do all the step ups. Because I mean, if you're looking at it as a someone who's not a whale, has 25k lapis to spend, you want to spend it on the Xeno one. You don't want to spend it on the Akstar one. And there's, I mean, unless you're super in love with Akstar for whatever reason, I wouldn't even waste the lapis on that banner. That step up.
um, just a side note, since we're talking about spending Lapis, the bundles are atrocious.
Oh
Please
God,
don't buy
they're
them.
hard.
Please don't
Yeah,
buy them. The $99 one is worse than buying the Volta Lapis.
yep,
One
significantly worse.
one 4-star ticket and 5 rare tickets are not worth 3,000 Lapis. That
Not
is
even close.
nearly a 10 pull, 10 plus 1 pull. That's a little over half a 10 plus 1 pull. And this is half a 10 plus 1 pull in tickets. A 10 plus 1 pull is just better because you can do it on a step up.
Well, the Lapis is better because you can do on the step up with higher rates and
That's
extra
what I
bonuses.
meant by the 10 plus 1 pull. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can use the lapis on the step up, which that means you can almost do the first step. That's how much it's taking out of it. It's like that's just
Yeah.
bad. The apprentice, the $50 one's even worse. Two
Yeah. They're all,
tickets for that's not worth
yeah.
2,000 lapis.
I don't understand Gumi's reasoning on making bundles because they need to fire that guy. They need to absolutely fire the guy that's like, let's make our bundles worse than actually going and buying Lapis. That makes total sense.
So I understand the idea of it. It's supposed to look like a sale without actually being a sale. It's like basically what every retail company has ever done since the dawn of time.
Yeah,
They say sale
I
on an
under,
item, but
and it's not on
it's
sale.
not
I get that,
it's not on sale. But the
but
problem
it's
is,
usually the actual price rather than saying, "Hey, this is on sale, but it's actually more expensive than what their normal price is," which is
yeah,
kind of stupid.
unless you put actual weight on the cactars and the gill and the trustmicles, because if you take that sense, then yes, this is worth more than an actual
I
bundle.
don't know.
But in my opinion,
I wouldn't say that. I
So
mean, the thing
when I
is,
say that, so let me finish real quick, Kuja. When I say that, it's because they have very crappy regular bundles. For example, if you need gil, it costs 100 lapis to get 50,000 gil. That is a huge ripoff. You should not do that.
well, yeah,
But if you were an idiot and you're calculating it technically, it's 1.2 million gil, and if you take that and divide it by 50,000, it's quite a bit of lapis. But it's just dumb to buy gil that way. It's better
yeah.
just to wait
Especially
for a
you could
raid
farm it.
and do it.
You could farm it technically if you really wanted to.
I understand, but I'm just trying to point out that some people might consider it technically more if you're putting a price tag on everything.
I mean, the
I
way I feel the banners should be valued is you get similar value to buying the lapis straight from the vault plus the extra shit thrown in
See, for
as
me,
like a
they
sweetener.
already limit these to one, so it should be like taste. It should be a taste to get people to spend more money. So
Exactly.
what it should be is like this $99 one should have been $70.
Yeah, that would have actually made it into a decent bundle.
This $50 one should have been 25.
20, yeah, 25, 20, something like that. Yeah, I mean the way they're,
This
I think,
$12 one should have been 7. They should have made it a little bit higher than what you normally get, and it would get people to buy more regularly rather than when they need it.
mm-hmm.
But again,
I mean, I don't see how they sell these bundles. How anybody buys these bundles? I don't. I cannot see how some of the people buy bundles, and I've bought a lot of bundles where a majority of the community say, "Oh, that's a bad deal. It's not that great." I mean, when the lapis value of the bundle is under what you could buy for the same amount of money, that's bad. And if they don't
the
give
only
you like,
bundle that was good on this event was the fact that they brought back Vault of Lapis, and if you're a person
yep,
who logs in daily, the Vault of Lapis is fantastic, and that's the
yep,
only one you probably should get.
yeah. They Gumi needs to fire their bundle maker because they're. I mean, honestly, they're trying to get a stupid person to buy it. That's what they're doing. I mean, that's the only person that would buy that
Agreed.
because I mean, you can buy 100 lap. You can buy $100. You can spend $100 on just lapis and get significantly more value out of that.
You get 18,000 Lapis. Yeah.
Right, which is 3,000 lapis, and those tickets in there don't come close to being worth 3,000 lapis.
All right. Well, now that our rant is over, let's move on to the Dwarven Castle. This is the new
It's
raid
not new.
trial. Well, I know
It's
it's
not.
not new. It's brought back without any bonuses, which is what drove me insane. I'm like, the scale should have been buffed or
Yep.
something,
It should have been like version 2.
or black scale instead of shadow scale. But
Yeah, I mean,
anyways,
yeah, it's
it
it's the same fight, I believe, isn't it?
it is the same fight. So this
Which,
event is the only thing hard about it is not killing it too quickly, unless you are brand new with no 7 stars.
yeah, I mean, literally, you just started today.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for you.
And the only reason is
Even
because
then,
the dragon does a lot of damage if you don't kill it instantly.
but I mean, this is a joke. You don't even need a 7-star unit, and you could probably blow this thing away in 2 turns. It's yeah. I mean, again, they didn't buff anything on this fight. It's the same exact fight as it was when it came out when Barbie originally came out during that event. It's really disappointing that they did that rather than either making a new fight or just buffing this fight to make it harder and then giving us, you know, an upgraded the upgraded reward, you know, because again, 30 magic is fine.
It's not bad, but
Bad.
it's just
It's
it's
not
it's
bad. It's
old.
just
The only thing, in
y-
my opinion, good about it is the 30% dark resistance.
yeah. I mean, and I mean the 20% lightning resistance is not horrible either, though.
Oh, I was talking about the shadow scale.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like the 20% lightning isn't bad. It helps.
Nope, it's very useful when you start doing when we start getting trials where you have to stack lots of element
Yeah.
resistance.
Well, I mean, we kind of already have had a couple in the
Yeah,
latest.
but this helps fill
They
out.
didn't need lightning. You didn't need to stack lightning resistance, but you will
We
eventually.
will eventually. And other than that, the hardest thing about this one is not killing it too quickly. If you're gonna
Yeah.
ask me the best way to do it, it's to take in 2 summoners, or because you don't have to worry about death, you could take in a Final Fantasy Tactics summer, or not Tactics, Final Fantasy Type Zero, and just kill
Type
yourself
0. Yeah. Mm.
and get the Esper instantly, and then murder it. But it's
Yeah.
it does have a hard lock, and you will have to tank a little bit of damage. You're gonna probably die when you tank that damage, especially if you're not
No,
new.
I think it brings you down to like 1 HP or something. He doesn't kill you.
Well, most likely you're gonna get hit because it's more than one hit, is what I
Well,
mean. It brings you down to
I
one
mean,
HP.
unless he kills you before he hits you, brings you down to 1. The last hit is going to bring you down to 1. He
I
doesn't hit you
I
after.
got hit with the thing that brought me down to one, and then hit again later.
Oh,
So
I don't think it's supposed to do that.
it did it to me both times. So I don't know. And I did it to me the second time because I only did the second time because I missed the Moogle, and the
Yeah.
Moogle was worth it.
Yeah. Getting, if you miss the Esper kill, trying it a second time is definitely worth it for the Moogle. 5% Moogle.
But yeah, he's way too easy to kill. He only has 3 million HP. Esther, if in one turn, on turn one, by herself, could kill him if there wasn't a lock.
Yep. And you could probably come close to killing him, or at least bringing him to the 50% lock with just her auto attacks.
My
I
basic
mean,
auto attack brought it down
the,
20% without even,
like
with just tapping it.
this, yeah, this boss fight's not
The only
built
thing
for the
hard about it
7-star.
is not. Yeah, it's built. It's from long ago. They didn't do anything to it. They really should have given it a buff.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I'm really disappointed that like the scale should have been like Dark Dragon scale or like Evil Dragon scale and gave it.
Or even Shadow Dragon Scale 2,
If you're gonna be
or
lazy, then
or
yes.
Shadow Dragon Scale Plus, and it's got 40 magic on it and more dark resistance or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. He doesn't even need the extra dark resistance because 30 is pretty high actually. So extra damage would have been fine.
Yeah, or maybe it didn't have. Maybe it still had 30 mad. I mean, there's things you could have done to it to make it significantly better and not make it overpowered or
And then all they had to do for this trial is just buff their HP. If you were going to be the laziest thing ever, just double, triple, quadruple the HP. Quadrupling the HP would have probably put it in the current like power
no, it
creep.
wouldn't. I don't think so.
If his HP was
Maybe
12 million, only the whales would be able to one shot it. Regular
I don't know
users
about that.
would not one shot it. But right now, regular like brand newer or like casual players could one shot this boss, which that
Yeah,
should not happen.
if you had if you were starting this week and you pulled on the Zeno banner and you had Zeno or Akstar and you had their 6-star form and a 7-star friend, you could easily destroy this boss.
You don't even need a 7-star friend. You could have 2 6-star friends. Or you and your 6-star friend, if you matched up properly, you could kill this boss no sweat.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is it's just so weak.
Mm-hmm. Well, moving on because this fight's
Yeah.
kind of not even worth talking about.
Let's go to the story event. Out for Vengeance. So far, I've made it about halfway, and the story is boring.
I wouldn't say it's boring. It's fine. It's
It's so cliche.
yeah. Well, all story you gotta realize that's kind of how.
I know. I liked Crimson's story. I like that one quite a bit actually. And like Sieghardt's story is goofy enough where it entertained me.
Oh God.
This one is so by the numbers that it's just boring, and that's how I feel about it. I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, I'm a schnab, but
Hmm.
I could have skipped
I
the
don't know.
entire thing and known what was happening by the first part of the mission. I already know what the end of it is, and I haven't even finished that far. I don't want to say it because I don't want to ruin it for people, but it's so boring.
And the bonus stage is pretty easy. There's no super. I mean, all the bosses are kind of similar, and there's no overly difficult mission. I mean, you have an Esper kill mission, but it's on the first boss. It's pretty easy. It's got low HP too.
So we do
But
have something
again,
really nice though for this banner, and that is the jet black eye patch.
yep.
That thing is fantastic. You might be like, oh, 18 attack, 15% HP, crisis evasion. What's so special about
Mm-hmm.
that? There's like 4 hats that have evasion on it.
Oh, there's one other hat that has evasion on it.
Well, no, there's the Black Raven, which is cut off. There's the Wolf Head, which is
The wolf head's the only one.
well, no, there's other ones, but they're cut off by events. Because there's Raven Beret. There's another one I
Oh
can't
yeah.
remember. Actually, there's another 2 that I can't remember. And then there's the Wolf's Helmet. And then there's this.
Yeah, I mean 5% evasion on a hat's a lot. I mean is good, and this actually gives you decent stats because it gives you HP
Yeah,
and
the
attack.
15% HP is extremely nice, but like,
I mean, I mean honestly, you're more than likely just ignoring the attack on it and going, you're like it's extra evasion with attack on it
the only
or with
person that
HP
gets
on
a
it.
huge benefit from this is Esther. Because you could make her an
Sure.
evasion tank and still keep her attack somewhat high. It'd be better to
Yeah,
build as much evasion in her material list, but I mean,
but this
because
is going
it,
for
yeah.
evasion tank, 100%. And it's extremely good for an evasion tank because it's going to give you extra bulk.
If you have the ability to get this, I would recommend getting it because building evasion tanks is going to be useful later on your life, even if you can't build it now. The evasion headpieces slash anything is much harder to get than
Mm-hmm.
the only evasion like item that is decent or like easy to get is quick assault.
Yeah.
Everything
And that's
else.
just
Well, sorry, I forgot about the leather armor, assassin armor. That is the easiest evasion gear to get in the game.
yep. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Because that's just killing echidna, and that's easy at this point.
If you missed the Kiyomori, which is a katana with 10%, but not every tank can use a katana. But anyways, you have
I mean, there's a lot of weapons, but the thing with Kiyomori is it's got 10%. Most of the other weapons have 5.
yeah, and they're usually daggers.
Well, there's a sword, there's a great sword. There's a
I said
bunch of different
usually. I
weapons
said
there.
usually.
There's a bunch of different weapons, but the thing that makes Kiyomori kind of stand out is it's got 10% on it rather than 5.
The
But
thing I'm really surprised about with this bonus mission though is if this is correct,
it's easy.
the stats are really low.
Yes.
The Evil Drake looks like it's got the best stats, but that's still considerably lower than the trials I'm used to.
Hmm.
I'm used to like 1,000 or like something thrown in there to make it much more difficult.
No, it's not difficult. I just did this before the podcast. It's pretty easy. I mean, really, you need to bring a tank that has fire immunity, 100%. That's it. And
Physical or
I mean,
magical?
uh, someone that can do both, kind of.
So
But I mean, the
Bosch,
first one,
Lilith.
yeah. I mean, I used Seaguard when I did it. So I mean, do you need a magic tank on that first fight? Probably not. I mean, if you break it, it's probably not gonna do enough damage to kill
It
you.
does have
And
really low stats.
you could probably bring someone who's just gonna buff your elements and not even need a tank. But because they're all weak. I mean, this bonus stage was super easy.
It's
The
weird
hardest
because
thing
we
is
just
being able to evoke 2 espers on the final stage.
just get someone to
Honestly,
kill yourself unless you can't kill yourself. What's the patterns? Yeah, you can kill yourself. So yeah, just bring a tactics unit or
yeah.
type 0 unit.
I mean, I used Aiko in her LB pretty much. Almost, I mean, pretty much comes close to filling the whole thing. So it was pretty easy.
If you don't have an Ico, um,
There's
Garnet
plenty
is
of
very
summoner.
good.
Any yeah, I was gonna say any summoner can really do it.
But LB Esper fill rates are usually really high, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you could just bring 2 summoners too.
Well, then you'd have to figure out what you're sacrificing for. But anyways, since that doesn't seem too terrible, I think we can call that an evening because
Well, there's a couple other things because we got free pulls over the weekend plus the
and they come with Moogles, so pull.
yeah, and well, it's a free pull, so yeah, definitely pull. But there's also the Vault of Hidden Treasures.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I need to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's dumb because they're doing it for 3 days, so it's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for 3 weeks in a row instead of doing it for like a week.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they just did it for a week straight, so you don't have to worry about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they do it that way.
I
How
guess I
they're
just
doing it
figured
that
most
way.
people play during the weekend, so they were trying to give a bonus for it, or maybe just make it easier for
Sure.
them.
Or they want more people to log in during the weekend. I don't know.
No idea. But yeah, our verdict on this banner, it's extremely good.
Yep.
I had a lot more. I think I was gonna have a lot more fun on the Easter banner though. So if you got that one, because that boss was actually fun. That one was actually difficult.
Yeah, and well, because they had to make the boss now rather than just throw an old boss together where they didn't do anything. But
Well, I
I
understand,
mean,
but I also
the
think that they did it
Easter
because
banner
that.
was good for another reason though, because I mean the unit, yes, Esther was extremely powerful, but so was Sylvie, and Sylvie was a support unit.
Yeah, but I think the reason why they made that boss so difficult was because that weapon was bonkers strong.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It made all the
Hands
people
down.
who went hard on Bahamut's tier cry a little bit inside.
Only a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Anyways, if you'd like to join us, our Discord is down below. Feel free to ask us any questions there if you have any, and join us in chat even if you like, because we're pretty open. Have a good evening.
Yep. Have a great night.